There's something strangely unsettling about fake people. Not loud people, not confident people, fake people. The kind who smile too perfectly, agree too quickly, compliment too intensely, yet somehow leave you feeling drained instead of understood. And what's fascinating is that some people notice it instantly, almost unnervingly fast. Before the contradictions appear, before the lies unravel, before everyone else catches on, they can feel it, like a quiet alarm going off beneath the surface. Maybe you're one of those people. Maybe you've walked away from someone while everyone else admired them. Maybe you felt guilty for distrusting someone who seemed nice on paper. But something inside you kept whispering, "This isn't real." And here's the strange part, people often make you feel wrong for it. They tell you you're overthinking, too guarded, too sensitive. But psychology suggests something deeper is happening. Because the people who instantly notice fake behavior are usually not paranoid at all. They're perceptive, deeply perceptive. See, most human communication doesn't happen through words. It happens through microexpressions, tone shifts, body language, timing, eye contact, inconsistencies. Tiny details the conscious mind barely notices, but the nervous system absorbs immediately. And some people have become extraordinarily sensitive to those details, not because they want to judge others, but because life trained them to read between the lines. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as heightened social awareness. It's the ability to detect emotional incongruence, when someone's outer behavior doesn't match their inner state. A smile that arrives half a second too late. A compliment that sounds rehearsed. Kindness that feels transactional instead of genuine. Most people overlook these things because they focus on appearances, but highly perceptive individuals focus on energy, on coherence, on whether someone's presence matches their performance. And often the people who notice fake people the fastest are the ones who've experienced emotional manipulation before. Maybe they grew up around unpredictable emotions. Maybe they had to learn early how to sense mood changes to stay emotionally safe. Maybe they spent years around people who said one thing and meant another. Over time, their brain adapted. It became skilled at detecting subtle inconsistencies because inconsistency once carried consequences. So now, even in adulthood, they can sense insincerity almost instantly, not because they're cynical, but because their nervous system remembers what false sincerity feels like. And here's what many people misunderstand about intuition. Intuition is not magic. It's pattern recognition happening faster than conscious thought. Your brain processes thousands of social cues in seconds. Most remain unconscious. But emotionally intelligent people often feel the result immediately. They walk away from someone thinking, "I can't explain it, but something feels off." And later, when the mask eventually slips, they realize their instincts noticed the truth long before logic could explain it. That's why people who instantly notice fake behavior often struggle in highly performative environments. They feel exhausted around forced conversations, exaggerated personalities, shallow charm, because they're constantly detecting the emotional gap between what people say and what they actually feel. And once you start seeing those gaps clearly, it becomes difficult to unsee them. You begin noticing how many interactions are built on performance rather than connection, how many people speak to impress instead of communicate, how many friendships survive on convenience instead of sincerity. But here's the painful part. People who detect fake behavior early are often misunderstood themselves, because when everyone else is charmed by someone and you're the only one sensing something strange, you become the difficult one, the cold one, the negative one. You stay quiet because you know how irrational intuition sounds before evidence appears, and that silence can feel lonely. Watching others trust someone you instinctively don't, smiling politely while your nervous system quietly stays alert. There's actually a psychological reason certain people develop this sensitivity more strongly than others. Studies on emotional intelligence show that highly observant individuals tend to process social information more deeply. They notice inconsistencies in facial expressions, vocal tone, and behavior patterns that others filter out. But beyond intelligence, there's also emotional memory involved. People who've been betrayed, manipulated, or emotionally invalidated often become hyper-aware of authenticity, not out of bitterness, but survival. Their brain learned that safety depends on reading people accurately, And interestingly, truly authentic people usually notice fake people the fastest, because authenticity recognizes authenticity, and it also recognizes imitation. When someone is genuine, their emotions, words, and actions tend to align naturally. There's no strain in it, no overcalculation, but fake behavior often carries subtle tension beneath it, a constant need to maintain an image, to manage perception, to appear likable instead of simply being real. And people who value sincerity can feel that tension immediately. You know what's fascinating? Fake people are often incredibly socially skilled, sometimes more socially skilled than genuine people. They know exactly what to say, how to mirror others, how to create instant closeness, how to appear emotionally available without actually being vulnerable. Because a lot of performative behavior is rooted in approval seeking, the desire to be admired, accepted, needed. So they adapt themselves constantly depending on who they're around. And at first, this can look like charisma. But over time, emotionally perceptive people notice something strange. There's no stable core underneath it. The personality shifts too easily. The warmth feels selective. The kindness disappears when there's nothing to gain. And this is where psychology becomes deeply revealing. Research on authenticity shows that humans subconsciously crave congruence. We trust people whose internal state matches their external behavior. Because congruence feels safe, predictable, real. But fake behavior creates cognitive dissonance. Something feels emotionally mismatched even if the words sound perfect. And your nervous system notices that mismatch long before your mind forms an explanation. That's why some people feel exhausted after interacting with fake personalities, even when nothing overtly negative happened. Because the brain is working overtime trying to reconcile contradictions. The smile says warmth, but the eyes say competition. The words say support, but the energy says envy. The compliment sounds kind, but somehow leaves you feeling smaller instead of valued. Emotionally aware people pick up on these contradictions constantly, and it can become mentally draining. But there's another side to this sensitivity that people rarely talk about. Those who instantly notice fake behavior are often deeply genuine themselves. They value honesty, emotional depth, consistency. They don't easily understand why someone would pretend to care, pretend to love, pretend to listen. Because when they connect with people, they do it sincerely. So insincerity feels emotionally jarring to them, almost painful. It creates a kind of emotional static they can't ignore. And sometimes this sensitivity makes relationships harder, because people who notice fake behavior quickly also tend to notice emotional distance, passive aggression, hidden resentment, or dishonesty before others do. They sense shifts in energy immediately, a delayed text with colder tone, a smile that no longer reaches the eyes, a compliment hiding subtle mockery. While others dismiss these things, highly perceptive people absorb them deeply, and over time this can make them guarded, not because they hate people, but because they've learned how exhausting false connection can be. There's also a philosophical layer to all of this. We live in a world that increasingly rewards performance. Social media encourages image crafting. Workplaces reward likability. Society often prioritizes charm over sincerity. So many people learn to curate themselves instead of understanding themselves. And in environments built on appearances, authentic people can start feeling strangely out of place. Because they aren't looking for polished perfection. They're looking for emotional truth, something real enough to relax around. And maybe that's why fake behavior feels so disturbing to perceptive people. Not because they expect perfection, but because they crave honesty. They can handle flaws, awkwardness, imperfection. What unsettles them is emotional inconsistency, the feeling that someone is constantly editing themselves to control perception instead of connecting authentically. But here's the important part. If you're someone who notices fake people quickly, it doesn't mean you're judgmental. It doesn't mean you're broken. And it definitely doesn't mean you should ignore your instincts just to make others comfortable. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. In many ways, it's protection. It's emotional intelligence operating beneath conscious awareness. The ability to notice what others overlook. And while that awareness can feel isolating sometimes, it also allows you to build deeper, more meaningful relationships. because you stop chasing appearances and start valuing sincerity. The truth is, people who instantly notice fake behavior are usually searching for something incredibly rare in today's world. Realness, not perfection, not status, not charm, just emotional honesty. Someone whose words match their energy. Someone who doesn't shape-shift depending on the audience. Someone who feels safe because they are consistent. And ironically, the people who notice fake behavior most quickly are often the people capable of the deepest connections. Because once they trust someone, they trust fully. Once they feel emotional safety, they open completely. Their caution isn't cruelty, it's discernment. They simply know how damaging false connection can become. You know, there's a quiet loneliness that comes with seeing through people too quickly. Sometimes you wish you could just enjoy the illusion like everyone else. Sometimes you wish you didn't notice the subtle arrogance hidden inside fake humility. The jealousy disguised as concern, the manipulation hidden inside kindness. But once your mind learns to recognize emotional incongruence, it becomes impossible to ignore. You start valuing calm, grounded people more than charismatic ones. You become drawn to those who feel emotionally steady instead of emotionally impressive. And over time, something beautiful happens. You stop doubting your instincts so much. You stop needing immediate proof to honor your discomfort. You realize that your nervous system often understands people before your mind does. Not because you're psychic, but because humans communicate far more through emotion than language. Because in the end, fake people usually reveal themselves eventually. The performance becomes exhausting. The contradictions become visible. The mask slips. It always does. But the people who notice it instantly remind us of something important. Authenticity has a feeling, so does insincerity, and the more connected you become to yourself, the more clearly you begin to recognize both. Maybe that's the real psychology behind people who instantly notice fake behavior. They've spent enough time understanding pain, emotion, and human nature that they no longer listen only to words. They listen to alignment, to consistency, to emotional truth. And while that sensitivity may sometimes make the world feel heavier, it also makes their relationships rarer, deeper, and infinitely more real. Because at the end of the day, genuine people don't leave you confused. They leave you calm, and the people who instantly notice fake people understand that better than anyone.